Hello everyone, today I'd like to chat with you about the Diablo IV beta. After playing all character classes to the max level of 25 and spending some time in the so-called beta endgame, I'm eager to share my thoughts. Is the beta good? Is it bad? Should you be playing during the open beta weekend? And what does all this mean for the game's release on June 6th this year? If you enjoy this video, I'd appreciate it a lot if you could give it a thumbs up. And if you're just as hyped for Diablo 4 as I am, feel free to subscribe to the channel. There will be loads more Diablo content coming soon. If you don't want to miss any videos, activate the notification bell and set it to all, so YouTube will notify you as soon as I release a new video. But now let's talk about Diablo 4 and the beta. The beta was truly phenomenal in my eyes, and I think you should definitely give it a try. But before I delve into my impressions in detail, I'm curious, have you already played it? If so, how did you find it? Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm very excited to hear your opinions. Of course, opinions on Diablo 4's style, gameplay and potential endgame development may vary depending on your perspective and expectations. However, there is no denying that the beta itself is a solid offering, giving us a substantial taste of Diablo 4 to test and explore. I really enjoyed the open world and overall tone of the story in Diablo 4. Everything appears dark, demonic and menacing, with both the art and sound design teams delivering outstanding work. The graphics are contemporary but beautiful, with a style that I prefer over Diablo 3. The game runs smoothly for me, both in 2K and 4K resolutions. The entire overworld is designed without loading screens, allowing players to enter and exit cities and change areas seamlessly. However, this feature doesn't yet work as smoothly as it could. There's some rubberbanding, particularly when transitioning from the main city, Kyovashad, into a new area. It's nice to have no loading screens, but the rubberbanding effect can be really annoying. And I'm not sure if this issue will be resolved in the final version, or if it's a problem inherent in this design decision that we'll have to live with. It's a shame, as the beta ran almost flawlessly for me, aside from the usual login issues at the start. The open world in Diablo 4's beta was highly enjoyable, and the shared world concept worked wonderfully for me. The Fractured Peaks is a large area with plenty to discover and explore. Even if you only play one class, you'll have your hands full and can easily spend several hours over the weekend immersed in the beta. From random events in the open world to dungeons and the open world boss Ashava, Sanctuary is packed with diverse activities. There even are some secrets to uncover as you stumble upon them in your travels. I discovered a level 35 boss on the map, which can be quite challenging, especially if you encounter it alone. And of course, there are plenty of opportunities to collect loot as well. The game is quite generous with legendary items, at least in the beta. This may change in the final game, as the developers have mentioned that legendaries should be very rare to make them feel special again. I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of this idea, as it's still quite challenging to find a legendary item that perfectly suits the build you're playing. Coupled with the fact that higher levels require a significant amount of resources to respec your character, to the point where the developers said it's better to start a new character all at once, it could mean that you'll need to farm for ages to optimize a specific build. However, the beta experience is quite relaxed. Up to level 25 you'll pay a maximum of about 3000 gold to reset and redistribute all your skill points, making it an excellent opportunity to experiment with different builds and test out all the skills. So you should definitely be doing this during the beta. One aspect of the open world that surprised me, and I wonder if it's just a beta feature, is that everything scales with your character's level. No matter how high you level up, the world remains at your level or up to 2 levels above. You don't have the chance to overlevel, which is somewhat unusual for an open world campaign. But of course, this is only the beta and things might be different in the final game. The story in the first act, which is playable in the beta, is fantastic. The main missions are sometimes quite lengthy, but always engaging. The lore is phenomenal, and the entire story unfolds either directly in-game or through in-game cutscenes. There are no cinematic cutscenes, but the in-game engine works wonderfully. I don't want to spoil the story for you, so I'll leave it up to you to experience it in the open beta. I highly recommend you check it out, and I believe we're in for a fantastic campaign. The gameplay itself, aside from a few minor issues, is highly enjoyable. The most significant difference compared to Diablo 3 is that the game is slower paced but still demands a lot of movement. You'll need to actively dodge attacks, especially in boss fights that feature more mechanics and a constant barrage of projectiles or attacks to avoid. At times you may spend up to 10 seconds just navigating the arena without attacking to dodge incoming damage. Each class also has the ability to dodge roll, which you'll definitely need throughout the campaign. Of course, I understand that the endgame will change things as proper builds and character development will lead to faster progression, but until then the gameplay is more challenging and satisfying, which is a personal highlight for me. The individual characters are also well designed. In early access, the mage, rogue and barbarian are available, each with their unique playstyle that works wonderfully. I started with the mage thinking it would be my go-to class, but then I played the rogue and found it even cooler. Finally, I tried the barbarian and was pleasantly surprised to find that I enjoyed it the most. The skill tree isn't as extensive as I had hoped, but it's a significant improvement compared to Diablo 3, offering a 1000% upgrade and paving the way for various interesting builds. Additionally, there are class-specific specializations. Starting at level 20 in the beta, you can play the mage and rogue's respective class-specific quests and use the resulting specializations. Unfortunately, the Barbarian specialization quest is located outside the playable area in the beta, so they'll miss out on this feature. Specializations add more depth to the skill system beyond the skill tree, which I appreciate. And of course, a crucial aspect even already in the Diablo 4 beta is combining your skills with the right items. You'll need to pay close attention to your gear and ensure it has suitable affixes. Not only on level 25, but also during leveling, you'll recognize the massive difference it makes when you equip the right items to actively support your active and passive skills. While other looter games may let you get by with just equipping the highest level items while breezing through the campaign, this strategy doesn't hold up in Diablo 4. You'll notice a significant improvement in your gameplay, especially on World Tier 2, when you take the time to thoroughly examine and compare the newly dropped items during the leveling process. And I'm not even talking about the legendary items, but the rare ones, which can greatly benefit your gameplay. Legendary items, on the other hand, are an entirely different story. They can come with relatively generic stats or with incredibly powerful affixes. For instance, my barbarian found an item that generates tornadoes when using the whirlwind skill. This item proved to be incredibly potent as it synergized perfectly with one of my main abilities in the build. If you're unsatisfied or find an item that doesn't quite match your current build but sounds impressive, don't hesitate to reset your points and experiment with a new playstyle. You'll be amazed on what you can discover. Our group tried various approaches, uncovered new strategies and inspired each other. I highly recommend you do the same. I think the beta serves its purpose in an impressively comprehensive manner. It allows players to put every aspect of the game to the test. You can examine how the game plays and feels, the tone set by the story, the way characters and skills function, and the role that the loot and itemization plays. We can thoroughly investigate all aspects of the game, except for two critical areas: the endgame and monetization. Unfortunately, the beta doesn't provide any information on these topics. However, Blizzard has promised to discuss both subjects in detail in future developer streams following the beta. If you don't want to miss out, consider subscribing to the channel for updates. You'll be kept informed as soon as any news is available. That's all for this video, and I'd appreciate if you could give it a thumbs up. And if you enjoyed this video, you'll probably like my last one, which you can see on the screen right now. I hope you all have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one.